Happy Friday, guys. Charlie Wall here. This is a little message for you this Friday for those of you who feel less than. And the reason for this video this week is because I have had a couple of messages from people that I feel and know to be extraordinary. Wonderful, wonderful, gifted, spirited people, and they feel less than. And I also gather from talking to many of you that often you can have moments where you feel less than. So I wanted to just tell a little story really about a human being, and you can think of this human being as me, because I can only really talk about my own experience. But I was born, like we're all born, right, into a beautiful little body, and we start picking up words, and we start picking up people around us, and we start learning and picking up language. And part of that language starts with, I remember being told, "Oh, you're such a chatterbox, you talk too much, you've got more rabbit than Sainsbury's." And, or, you know, "Oh, you're a little bit of a chubster." You're good at running, or you're not very good at maths. And what else was I told? Fairly often I picked up along the way the label that I was stupid. And so what I want you to hear in that is that when you're little, you pick up a label or an idea of who you are and what you have to offer this world. And it's usually labels and conditioning and attributes that other people have given us. So, you know, I was told I was goofy, I was stupid, lots of things like that, which I took on to, and chubby, and I took on those labels and felt that that's who I was. That was my personality. I was chubby, I was goofy, I was stupid, lots of those things. And so we then kind of misidentify or think we are our body, or we think we are a chatterbox, or we think we've got more rabbit than Sainsbury's, or we think we're stupid. And that's kind of how we grow up and start to sort of believe those labels. We believe them. We believe that's who we are. And that's not who we are. But I just want you to stick with this, because a lot of those times we have kind of sussed out, or we somehow get the opinion that those labels that have made up who we are aren't very good, and we can be unlovable, and we can be rejected. And as a result, we create a mask. And that mask can hide, we feel, hide all of our quote-unquote faults. This is part of what human beings do. Human beings hide a lot of their self-perceived flaws. So the people that I was alluding to earlier, the people that I see as being gifted, bright, spirited, wonderful, wonderful human beings, are looking at themselves through the lens of old, outdated labels that they've kind of grown up believing. And me too, you know, I did this too. And sometimes if I feel insecure or a bit low, I can still believe that they're true. So part of that kind of mask, you know, creating this perfect us, and a lot of that perfect us you see on social media, much more obviously in this generation that we're in, but you know, it of course manifested when I was a kid before social media. You know, it might be makeup, it might be clothes, it might be hair, but there's always a mask, and we wouldn't necessarily talk about the things that we were scared of, the parts of our personality that we felt ashamed of. We wouldn't necessarily be very open about that for fear of someone seeing the real us, and that real us being not good enough. I'm not good enough. I might be rejected. That makes me unlovable. So I'm going to maintain this mask and this persona that's created. But that's quite hard work to do that. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's incredibly hard work. And we, you know, people will say, how are you? And you'll go, yeah, I'm fine. And we really don't share the sadness that we feel, or, you know, the worry about money, or the worry about corona, or the worry about politics, or what we're scared of. We don't share that with many people, if any people. And so we keep that kind of under the surface and keep this mask. This is me. These are, you know, this is who I am. And I think that's also perpetuated by society and by culture. But what I want you to know is who you are can never be less than, ever. It can never be less than someone else or more than someone else. You know, we've all got our own quirks, we've all got our own gifts, we've all got our own unique ways of being in the world, but none of us can ever be less than. And part of the problem when we believe that we can be less than is that we're looking in the wrong place for settling, for our innate well-being. And that's when we start to go to our habits of behaviour or habits of thought, and control comes into that a bit as well, but perhaps that's a subject for a different time. But what we tend to do is we'll go, oh, I'll just have a glass of wine or two. That will kind of settle me down. That actually what it does, it comes from a good place, because our innate well-being and our settling kind of comes up to the surface. And that's maybe short-lived, depending on how much you drink. Sometimes some of us can go over the edge. Some of us can, you know, go another way. Like, we're all unique, but we'll look outside of us. It looks like something outside of us can settle us down. That might be in a cake. That might be in alcohol. That might be in shopping, as I spoke about last week with Black Friday. That might be in smoking. That might be in controlling your diet, or doing a diet, or looking a certain way physically. We believe that our happiness and our well-being resides there. And that's not where it resides. Where it resides is in the kind of formless, which sounds a bit weird, but that part of you that was born into the beautiful body that you were born into before all the labels were slapped on you. And that part of you has been the same part of you that's been aware of it all, from you being little to you being, you know, in your 8, 9, 10 years old, to you being a teenager, to you being in your 20s, 30s and upwards. That part of you that never changes, that's always stable, that doesn't go anywhere, that can't be hurt, that's the part of you that is always perfect and whole and resilient and can never be less than. And when we misidentify with our body or with our personality or with our work, it just kind of drives us forwards all the time. More qualifications, more money, a different partner, more wine, more food, less food, more exercise. There's always somewhere for us to get to. Your ego is constantly driving you forward. Even if you get the qualification, that's not good enough, I need to get to the next one. Even if we get to our quote unquote perfect weight, oh, no, that's still not good enough. I need to get to the next thing. Even if we get our perfect house, no, there's something wrong. We need to go to the next one. There's this constant drive forwards. And if you can see that you're okay and fine and perfect and enough, you are enough right now, in whatever body, in whatever house, whatever financial status, whatever job, you are enough. And that is what I want you to know today. Yeah, take care.